Welcome to part 2 of our video on the system of government. Let's look at a question regarding the Ministry of Finance. It asks which is not a department of the Ministry of Finance. The correct answer is D, Department of Banking Affairs, which is part of the Department of Financial Services. The Government of India is structured into 58 union ministries and 93 departments. Next, let's examine the All India Whips Conference. This conference is periodically organized by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, Option A. It's a platform for political party whips to discuss parliamentary procedure, focusing on maintaining discipline and decorum within the legislative houses for smooth functioning. The political whip refers to both an official and a written instruction. The official is appointed to maintain discipline, ensuring members attend and vote according to the party line. Instructions range from one-line notifications to the strictest three-line whip. Violating a three-line whip can lead to disqualification under the anti-defection law. The question is, who has the power to control delegated legislation? The correct answer is D, Supreme Court. The judiciary exercises judicial review to strike down legislation that goes beyond the powers delegated by the Constitution, known as ultra-vires legislation. While parliamentary committees oversee this, the Supreme Court is the definitive check. Moving to the parliamentary form of government in India, the correct statements are I and II. Our system is based on collaboration between the legislature and executive and was borrowed from the British model. Statements II and IV are incorrect, as political parties are essential and the president, not the prime minister, is the head of state. Let's elaborate on the correct statements. Collaboration is key in a parliamentary system, unlike presidential systems. The British model is adopted, featuring a dual executive. The other options are incorrect. Political parties are necessary, and the president is the nominal head of state. The key rule is that the executive is answerable to Parliament. The question asks which statements are not correct regarding the Public Accounts Committee, or PAC. The correct option is B, meaning statements I and II are incorrect. The PAC was first mentioned in the Government of India Act 1919 and is constituted annually for 1 year, not 2, unlike the incorrect statement, 2. Parliamentary committees are small groups of MPs handling detailed work due to technical complexity. They were first mentioned in the Government of India Act 1919. Committees operate under the direction of the Speaker or Chairman and present reports to the House. They are generally categorized as permanent standing committees or temporary ad hoc committees. Standing committees are permanent. The financial committees include the Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, and Committee on Public Undertakings. Department-related standing committees, or DRSCs, review ministerial function. They consist of 24 committees, usually with 31 members serving a 1-year term. Ad hoc committees are temporary, formed for a specific job and dissolved afterward. They are divided into inquiry committees, like joint parliamentary committees for investigations, and advisory committees, such as select or joint committees on bills, which give reports on legislation. Their main job is executive accountability. Next, a question on the Rajya Sabha. The question asks for the correct statement. The correct option is D, meaning statement IV only is correct. The nominated members of the Rajya Sabha are indeed part of the Electoral College for the election of the Vice President. Let's look at the incorrect statements for Rajya Sabha. Statement I is wrong because the Rajya Sabha is a permanent body and not subject to dissolution. Statement II is incorrect. The Lok Sabha has overriding authority in the area of supply and money bills. Statement II is also wrong, as MLAs do not vote in the vice presidential election. The President of India is covered under Articles 52 to 62. Eligibility requires citizenship, a minimum age of 35, qualification for Lok Sabha, and no office of profit. The President is indirectly elected by an electoral college consisting of elected MPs and MLAs, excluding nominated members. The oath is administered by the Chief Justice of India, or CJI, to protect the Constitution and the law. The Vice President of India is covered under Articles 63 to 71. The VP holds the second highest constitutional office and is the ex officio chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. The VP is indirectly elected by an electoral college consisting of all members of parliament, both elected and nominated, but no MLAs. The President administers the oath. Finally, the impeachment of the Indian President. The correct option is C, meaning statement I is the only correct statement. The President is impeached only for violation of the Constitution. The other statements are false. Charges can be preferred by either house, and both houses must participate in the process. Let's analyze the impeachment of the president further. The only ground for impeachment is the violation of the Constitution, mentioned in Article 61, though the term violation is undefined. Charges can be initiated by either the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. The House that does not initiate the charges acts as the investigating House. Article 61 details the full impeachment procedure. The impeachment process under Article 61 starts with initiation in either House. A 14-day notice, signed by 1/4 of that House's total members, must be given. The first House must pass the resolution by a 2/3 majority of its total membership. Then, the second House investigates, allowing the president to be represented. Finally, a 2/3 total membership majority in the second House removes the president. This question concerns the adjournment motion in Lok Sabha. We are asked which statements are not correct. The incorrect statements are 2, 2, and V. The adjournment motion does not require a 7-day notice, and it will interrupt the normal business of the House. Additionally, the chair's permission is mandatory. Let's review the detailed analysis of the adjournment motion. Its objective is to draw attention to recent, urgent public matters, interrupting regular business. Notice does not require 7 days, but must be given by 10 a.m. on the day proposed. The motion is an element of censure against the government. The Speaker has absolute discretionary power to permit or refuse the motion. There are different categories of motions. Closure motion is moved to cut short debate and, if passed, puts the matter to a vote. Types include simple closure, closure by compartments, kangaroo closure, and guillotine closure. Privilege motion is moved by an MP if a minister breaks the privilege of the House, aiming to censure the minister. Moving on to other types of motions. The calling attention motion draws a minister's attention to an urgent public issue without involving censure. It is valid in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The no confidence motion is moved only in the Lok Sabha, with 50 members' support, and results in the resignation of the entire council if passed. No specific grounds are needed. The censure motion is moved against an individual minister or the entire council, requiring specific grounds to be stated. Unlike the no confidence motion, the government does not need to resign if it is passed. The motion of thanks follows the president's address to the first session, and its defeat in the Lok Sabha is critical, requiring the government to resign. The adjournment motion, an extraordinary tool, interrupts regular business for an urgent debate in the Lok Sabha. Contrast this with the adjournment of the House, a routine action by the presiding officer to end a sitting. These motions and procedures maintain executive accountability. Let's analyze the anti-defection law. The correct statements are I, 2, and 2. Political parties gained constitutional recognition via the 52nd Amendment. The law came into effect on March 18, 1985. The Speaker's decision on disqualification is subject to judicial review, as ruled in the statement IV on the anti-defection law is incorrect. The provision for a, quote, split in a political party was removed by the 91st Amendment in 2003 and was replaced by the merger provision, requiring 2/3 of members to merge with another party. Quijotto-Holohan case. A lame duck politician is one who remains in office after a loss, choosing not to seek re-election, or if the office is to be abolished after their term. These 3 scenarios are correct. An office without term limits means the official can seek power again, making that option incorrect. The lame duck session is the final meeting of the outgoing parliament before new members join. Such officials typically have weaker influence due to their imminent departure. Other parliamentary terms include question hour, 0 hour, adjournment sine die, prorogation, quorum, whip, and point of order. The bills introduced in Parliament question asks for the correct statements. The correct option is C, meaning statements 3 and 4 are correct. The Taxation Laws Amendment Bill of 2021 falls under the Money Bill category, and the Central Universities Amendment Bill of 2021 is an ordinary bill. Statements 1 and 2 about bills are incorrect. Rejection of a government bill indicates a lack of confidence, not a vote of confidence, potentially leading to resignation. Also, public bills generally require 7 days' notice, not 15. This highlights the importance of precise parliamentary language. To distinguish bills, public bills are introduced by a minister, require 7 days' notice, and have a greater chance of approval, but rejection can threaten the government. Private members' bills are introduced by any non-minister MP, require 1 month's notice, have a lower chance of approval, and their rejection does not affect the government's position. The correct answer is option D, statements 1, 2, 3, and 4. Absolute majority means more than half of the total strength, Simple majority means more than half of members present and voting, and effective majority is based on the effective strength excluding vacancies. The fifth statement is incorrect, because special majority depends on the type of constitutional provision. Parliament uses four main types of majorities. Simple majority means more than half of members present and voting, used for ordinary bills and no confidence motions. Absolute majority is more than half of total strength. Effective majority excludes vacancies, and special majority is used for constitutional amendments and emergency matters. Let's begin day 6 with a detailed breakdown of majority types. An absolute majority is strictly more than 50% of the House's total membership. A simple majority counts only those present and voting. An effective majority is the majority of the House's effective strength, which is the total membership minus vacancies. Now, let's address the question on sittings of Parliament from 2022. We need to identify the correct statements. The correct option is A. Statements 1 and 4 are correct. In 1955, a Lok Sabha committee proposed a 3-session timetable. The suggested winter session was November 15th to December 15th. The 1955 General Purposes Committee recommended a formal timetable for Parliament to remain in session for about 8 months annually. The proposal included a budget session from February 1st to May 7th, a monsoon session from July 15th to September 15th, and a winter session from November 5th to December 22nd. Despite the recommendations, the suggested fixed schedule was never implemented. This was due to a lack of legal requirement for a fixed calendar, and the executive having discretion over summoning sessions. However, the current practice broadly follows the 3-session pattern. Remember, the gap between 2 sessions must not exceed 6 months. Next, let's look at the Electoral College for the President of India from 2023. The correct statements are 1 and 2. Statement 1 is correct. Elected members of the Legislative Assemblies of Delhi and Puducherry were added by the 70th Amendment. Statement 2 is also correct. Vote values are based on the 1971 census per the 42nd Amendment. The Electoral College includes elected members of both Houses of Parliament and elected members of the state legislative assemblies, including Delhi and Puducherry. The 70th Amendment that added Delhi and Puducherry took effect from June 1, 1993, not 1995. Regarding the population base for vote value calculation, the 42nd Amendment in 1976 froze the base at the 1971 census. This freeze was extended until after 2026 by the 84th Amendment in 2001, meaning the 2011 census population is not currently used for this purpose. The question on the impeachment of the Indian president asks for the correct classification of the procedure. The correct option is C. Quasi-judicial procedure. This process combines judicial-like investigation and trial functions within the legislative body, Parliament. The impeachment process, defined in Article 61, is quasi-judicial because one house frames the charges, acting as the prosecutor, and the other investigates, acting as the judge. The president has the right to legal representation during this investigation, underscoring its legal character within a parliamentary setting. Key facts about impeachment include the sole ground being, quote, violation of the Constitution. It can be initiated in either house and requires a special majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership in both houses for removal. Note that state legislative assemblies and UTs are excluded from the impeachment process. The correct answer is option C. Statements 1 and 2 are incorrect. A private member is any MP who is not a minister, and private members' bills are usually taken up on Fridays, not Mondays. 1 month's notice is required, and a Constitution Amendment bill can be introduced in either house. The correct answer is option B, statements 1, 2, and 3. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house and cannot be dissolved. 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years, and the Vice President of India serves as its ex officio chairman. Thank you for your time and attention.